of the VW chassis.
VW-Fahrgestell, sondern als selbsttragende Karosserie den ersten Porsche zu machen.
Another development at that time was a small farm tractor that formed a basis for the Volkstraktor, or People's Tractor, and the Porsche diesel tractor that was built after the war. At the beginning of the war, further designs were based on the Volkswagen passenger car, but intended for military use. The VW Kübelwagen, reconnaissance car, for instance, and the VW Schwimmwagen, amphibious vehicle. Porsche's technical staff also worked on armored vehicles and tanks. In 1944, the office moved to Gmünd in the Austrian province of Carinthia. The offices and workshops there were refurbished to some extent. Hostels of some very simple design were built for the staff of 150 who moved to Gmünd from Stuttgart.
Die von Stuttgart mit nach Gmünd kamen.
The Porsche company had to struggle for survival when the war came to an end. Contact with the provincial government of Carinthia enabled the company to start producing rope winches and farm tractors. It wasn't until the end of 1946 that a major order was received from the Italian industrialist Piero Duzio and occupied Porsche's designers. They wasted no time in starting work on the Type 360, the Cisitalia Grand Prix racing car. The Cisitalia racing car was designed in Gmünd. It had a 12-cylinder engine and all-wheel drive. It was a splendid effort, incorporating all the latest design principles of the time. Unfortunately, the client ran into financial difficulties, and the mid-engined car, with its supercharged 1.5-liter flat 12 engine and driver-engaged all-wheel drive, never progressed beyond the experimental stage. In 1947, Ferry Porsche began to give serious thought to building a sports car based on Volkswagen components. A new journey began along the Porsche way. The 50s. The sports car manufacturer, Porsche. On July the 17th, 1947, work began at the Porsche plant in Gmünd, Austria, on the first sports car to bear the Porsche name. It was based on Porsche's Type 64, the sports car designed for the Berlin-Rome road race. The new model's internal design code was Type 356. It had a lattice tube steel frame with a suspension largely derived from the Volkswagen. A body made from aluminum sheet shaped by hand over wooden formers was mounted on this chassis. The air-cooled 1131cc flat-4 engine was also taken from the car we now know as the Beetle.
Habe ich den Traum verwirklicht.
For me, it was a dream come true. A car very like the one I'm sitting in now. Fast, light, and small. Features that made it possible to leave much bigger cars trailing behind.
Spielen hinter sich lassen kann.
Power output was boosted to 35 horsepower. A mid-engine layout was adopted with the engine ahead of the rear axle. The 4 drum brakes were capable even then of slowing and stopping the car like a typical Porsche. As for Porsche engineers, there was no stopping them at all. Their efforts were crowned with success. On June the 8th, 1948, the first Porsche received official approval, a construction and use permit from the Carinthian regional government. The legendary Roadster's chassis number 356-001. 356, number 1, was bought by the Swiss businessman Ruprecht von Senger, who imported it over the mountains at the end of June 1940.